Hey guys, so what we're going to work on today is our crack in the wall creature. You can make it as creepy as you want. I'm going to keep mine a little lighter. I still don't know if I want to see anything crawling out of a hole in the wall no matter what. I got some great ideas from other people who were doing this. When they started working on it, they decided to have, like here, a hand creeping out up and over the ledge. Or somebody else had like a tentacle, so I added an arm to this one. Some people added more than one. And I noticed somebody who painted the wall in the background. That came out pretty cool too. Here you'll notice I added some little texture, like I was going to add brick in the wall, and you can see one of those videos within the slideshow. But I'm just going to get started on how to begin your creature living in the crack in the wall. So for me, I would start off with just this very jagged edged shape that's going to look like cracked wall. And it's going to kind of be almost like a diamond-y shape. Just try not to make it too perfect or equally jagged. That might be a little much, but that's okay because you can disguise that in your piece. So that's going to be the crack in my wall. And then just from there, go to sides or parts that are jutting out and create cracks further along the wall. Try not to make it too perfect. You know, they're just kind of creeping out, cracking as if something is broken. You can make them a little more spindly. Use the tip of your marker if you want. Add some spindly ones. I also like to make it a little darker along the edges. So I might just go in here and use more of the side of my marker. And maybe a little bit darker here. Almost like the crack is a little wider. So just a spot. And I might do that in a couple of these spots where I make it a little bit more dark right along the border there, like that. And you can do that anywhere you want along there. Just kind of round it off so it looks like it's a little bit of shadow and darkness. And you can add as many as you want. You could even just add it to the wall itself, cracking. Kind of looks like a tree branch, so try to make sure you make your crack look a little less tree branchy. Try to go in different directions. Change it, spindly. And so now that I have my crack in the wall, now I'm going to think about, do I want to do a brick or do I want to color it solid? You could color it solid, or you could make the brick pattern. I'm going to show you how to do some of that real quick. I might not add all of it. I might only add a few chunks so I can show you what the painted wall looked like. Here I combined paint and brick, but if I were going to do the brick wall, one of the things you need to know is that it's basically, you don't draw each individual brick, you draw layers. So let's say I'm not going to go through the crack there. If I'm going to make a brick pattern, there's going to be the vertical lines that separate the bricks. So there's 1, 2, 3, and this one will be 4, 5. Now when I do my next layer, you're always going between. That helps with the weight of it. It distributes the weight evenly for your wall. And now I have my 2 rows of bricks. So I would probably work more with pencil on that part for shading. So I might want to make the line a little less perfect. Maybe leave a little space for the grout in between. And also just to kind of round up the edges a little bit as well, giving that space between them. Sort of like this, almost like a little triangle here, is making it a little more rounded on the edges. You do not need to do that. That's just something I'm going to do there. Now you can also just give the face of the brick some shading. So I'm using the side of my pencil. And you can also use your finger just to smear it and blend it. And if you wanted to, you could use your pencil to add little highlights of white along there. Bricks are hardly perfect. Sometimes they have little holes in them, little pockets of holes along the edges. You could even crack it a little bit. Maybe there's a little crack in the brick there like that. And so you could keep working really individually on each piece. Personally, I would leave a lot of space between the bricks, so I might thicken this line up. Or even just, because there's going to be that little bit of grout between it. Thicken the line up. And maybe I'd make it darker. And then I might go in and just do some shadowing along the edges, and I could cover both at the same time. A little darker toward the edges like that. Add layers of darkness in there. And same thing over here. I might round this a little bit more. Might make a little imperfection there in the brick. And same thing over here. I might go along the line and make it a little darker here to look like shadow. Spread it with my finger. And you can get some nice, interesting effects. Be sure, if you want to do more detail on your bricks, that you go and check out the slideshow. There's one in there that's totally devoted to the brick. I like to use the side of my pencil, though, to give it a more of a thicker selection between each brick. You can do that as well. You could keep it really simple. This works well because I've used it quite a bit now. It gets a little bit more fun to work with the pencil. And you can make the space between the bricks a little more realistic, a little thicker. This is probably too thin, right? You wouldn't put a brick on top of a brick. It has to have that little bit of grout in between. So once you're done with that, what kind of shape do you want for your creature? Do you want him rounded like this? Do you want him to have horns? And one thing I noticed that I thought was a great idea. Now I'm doing it in marker, so it'll be hard to see, but making it look like it comes right onto the creature. I would probably erase this in here or color over it so that it looks like it's on its head. Now you could make a one-eyed monster. You could make a two-eyed monster. I've done a couple of one-eyed ones. There's my one-eyed one. Two-eyed one. Maybe this one's going to have three eyes. 1, 2, 3. And maybe they're looking all in different directions. I don't know. That's kind of interesting, huh? Now you could give it teeth if you want to. Maybe his teeth are just coming up like this. Maybe we can only see those teeth. And I could think about color. I could add patterns, texture to him. Maybe I'll give him little spots on him. You can add arms. You can add any other features coming out. Now, before I would have done this dark line, I could almost have like his hand coming up and over the top. So that might be the top of his hand. And then the bottom of his hand. Maybe he's got some long claws. Now you see, because my dark line is here, that'll be a little hard to disguise since I did it in marker, but you see how his hand is creeping up and over there? Maybe I do the same over here, like he's really trying to, maybe a foot, like his foot is gonna crawl out of it. 1, 2, 3, maybe his foot, or I'll just make fingers. Or they could be foot or fingers. So if I were working in pencil, like I might encourage you to do, I might actually just leave that line out, obviously. They'll give him a fourth claw there coming out and over the hole. Now for me personally, you can add things on the inside. You saw that I did that here. But for the most part, I kind of love the way it looks when it's really dark. Now that kind of defeated the purpose of my dark outline, huh? Oh well. But let's just see how it takes it to another level when that hole is black or dark colored in the background. Now you can see, I don't want to waste too much of your time watching, and my marker is running a little dry, but you'll see how it really pops it out once you color the background. So think about what kind of creature you want to draw, what your hole will look like. You saw how I narrowed it down there so it looked a little more realistic, and how I used my really thin marker to make some extra cracks. Feel free to decide what it is that goes in there. Some people have had some amazingly awesome ideas about that. And think about your background. Do you want to leave it black and white and focus the color right on your creature alone? Or do you want to add some color to the background? You can do it either way. Whatever works for you is fine with me, so enjoy.